Yo, this is my 2026 pedalboard rundown. And I'll be going through everything that I'm using, from my guitar to my pedals and all of that. So yeah, first things first, this is my guitar. This is my Gretsch G5420T, white and gold. It's a made in Korea, semi-hollow body guitar, with Filtertron pickups. I absolutely love this thing. Before I got this, I had a J Mascis Jazzmaster. It was back in December, and then I actually reached out to a guy on Facebook Marketplace. And I asked him, hey, if you want to trade, I'm down for that, and he was down for that. So now I got this thing. Yeah, it's great. It's a beauty. I love the pickups. Love everything about it. Yeah, that's the guitar, and I'll show you guys the board now. Also, if you wanted to skip all the yapping and whatnot, I'll put a timestamp in the description where all the demos of the pedals and the tones actually start, so you guys can just click that if you want to skip all the talking. So yeah, alright y'all, here's the overhead view of the board. So the first half of the video, I'm just gonna make all that the talking parts, and then the second half is gonna be the actual guitar tones. So I guess we'll dive into, or not I guess, we will dive into my pedals first. So first pedal in my single chain is the JHS Little Black Buffer. You guys all know what a buffer does. It helps keep the integrity of your signal, and it helps your guitar stay true to what it's supposed to sound like. So yeah, that's the first pedal. Then we're going into the Barber Electronics Tone Press. I love this compressor. I do actually run it really hot though, but I think it adds a nice color, and it adds a lot more, I guess, brightness. It kind of pushes my amps harder too, which I'll get to in a bit. So yeah, that's the compressor. After the compressor, we're going into the Browne Amplification's Carbon X, and this is my first and second stage overdrive. I use the right side as my first and then the left side as my second. Usually I'll stack it, but then at certain times I'll also just, you guys can hear my cat meowing. He wants to get in, but no. Anyways, yeah, as I was saying, I usually tend to stack it, but then at certain times too, I just use each side like alone. And I'll get into that more later. And then after the Carbon X, we're going into the Solodallas SVDS Boost. I know it's a boost, but I primarily utilize it as more of like an overdrive because it tends to have a lot of gain, and I haven't really touched like the input trim pot and whatnot. So I do stack this with my Carbon X as well. Sometimes I'll use it by itself. But yeah, I think it has a really nice color and adds a really nice harmonic when I play, and I'll go over that in a bit during the tones. After the SVDS Boost, we're going into my Ernie Ball VP Jr. Volume pedal, standard, nothing crazy. Yeah, I've had this thing for a while, but it's been perfect and it's been trustworthy. And then it has the tuner output, which goes into my Rockstock Nano tuner, and then that's the tuner, obviously. And then after the volume pedal, we're going into my Hologram Electronics Microcosm. I'm pretty sure like my single chain is wrong, because I should be utilizing the effects loop in HX effects, because I'm pretty sure Microcosm should be between some of the things that are on the HX effects. I don't really know, but I'm too lazy to do all that, so I just have it before the HX effects. This thing is honestly insane. I have yet to discover like that many sounds. I have like one or two that I'm like sort of happy with. I just use it like to add texture and ambience, but yeah, this thing is a monster. And that's also where my stereo signal chain starts. And then after the Microcosm, we're going into the Line 6 HX effects. I'm not really sure if you guys can see what's labeled on everything, but I guess first thing in the HX effects that I'm using is it's like a mimic of a Pog, just the, what is it called? A dual pitch pedal. It's not the real Pog, doesn't really sound as good. It sounds kind of artificial in my opinion. Still really good though, and adds a lot of, I guess, obviously harmonics, and it adds thickness and meat to my signal, especially when I'm using overdrives. And then after that, I just have another boost right here, just in case I need that extra little kick and volume or gain. I rarely use it though, because my other 3 gain stages are more than enough for me. Then after that, we're going into modulation, which is, I have a vibrato, chorus, and tremolo. I freaking love the vibrato. I think it's one of my favorite things on my board. It's just so, there's so many, like, it's so versatile, and it's like really nice texture, especially when I combine it with the Microcosm. Chorus I pretty much never use, but it's just a nice addition to have when I played, like, or when I just jam with my friends or something. And then tremolo, honestly, this thing kind of like plays with my head, not gonna lie, because it's stereo tremolo, so it like phases in and out of your left and right ear, and it's kind of trippy, but it's pretty cool. Rarely use that too. And then the last thing that I'm using on the HX effects is, it's a dual delay. It's has a dotted 1/8 note delay as well as a 1/4 note delay. It's nice because it just combines 2 in 1, and then I don't have to take up more space on the HX effects. And then yeah, after this is the Jet Pedals Revelation. I used to have the Strymon Big Sky and the DD500, but to be honest, in my opinion, the Big Sky was just a lot to explore. It was honestly kind of overwhelming. So I got the Jet Pedals Revelation, and I really like it because, just, at least for me, the functions are just a lot more simple and a lot easier to understand. I didn't mind the Big Sky, but it was just like too much for me to process, to be honest. Do I regret selling it? Not really, because I think the Jet Pedals Revelation sounds really good either way. And then the DD500, I definitely didn't utilize it to its capabilities, but I mean, it was just like a delay, so I don't really think much about delays, to be honest. This is the delay and reverb I have currently is more than enough for me, and it's what I think sounds good in my opinion. So yeah, after that we're going into my 2 ToneXs. They're both captures by the Tone Shepherd. It's the Benson Chimera. The first one is I think it's the Ben 2, and then the second one is the VSOP, I believe. I think it's either gain stage 2 or 3. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember. But yeah, his captures sound amazing. And yeah, these are just insane. And then lastly, we're going into the Pinstripe Pedals DISO Plus, which has the Polarity reverse as well, just in case I decide to use different captures and they're not in phase with each other. Yeah, that was the most recent thing I got, and I was just using 2 like random DI boxes I had before. But I do think investing in this truly makes a difference, and it's definitely a good purchase that I had. So Yeah, that's like pretty much everything on my board and everything that I'm gonna be using and going through for the tones. One more thing I wanted to mention was on my Jet Pedals Revelation, I only use one reverb setting. In my opinion, I don't really think you need more than one. At least the way that I dialed in my reverb, it's like it could be utilized for literally anything. I think it's so universal and so versatile. I use it for palm mutes. I use it for, like, I don't know, literally everything. Just one setting. So yeah, that's pretty amazing, and I don't have to worry about like switching my reverb settings constantly. And then I also wanted to note my overdrives, because there's so much gain, like there's so much compression that actually builds up, but when you hear it with context and when you hear it within a mix, it actually just cuts through really well, and you're not able to hear all that compression because of all the other instruments also utilizing the space. So it sits really nicely in a mix. Also, just wanted to preface, before I play, because I know I'm gonna make mistakes and I know that I'm not the best at guitar, please excuse my horrible playing and my mess ups. I suck at guitar, so yeah. Hope you guys enjoy the demo and all my tones. Yeah.